Coming up now on Animal Outtakes.
It's easy to kill something. It takes a bigger person to do something and save something.
This facility is making sure every animal has a chance to live a healthy and happy life, and they are seeing the results. Are you talking to me? Maybe not. This little piggy went wee 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 all the way to their new home at Sarasota's Jungle Gardens.
They're always in a happy, clownish, joyful mood.
So
Always.
happiness is a beauty.
Happiness is a beauty.
From lots of hair to no hair at all. To an internet star, we take a look at some of the more fun pets we've come across over the years. This and much more straight ahead on Animal Outtakes. Hello and welcome to Animal Outtakes. I'm Marcia Panucci and this is my best friend Zeus. When it comes to caring for animals, it takes a special place and a team of special people. One such place is Suncoast Primate Sanctuary in Palm Harbor, Florida. Some of the animals that call this sanctuary home have had some unique beginnings. Some of the animals are retired performers and some have spent their lives in laboratories. But one thing all the animals have in common is a forever home, one that is full of love.
Where can you go and see 139 animals up this close that has personality? This has been here since 1948. We want to make sure it doesn't become a strip mall. We want to make sure that it's here for generations to come.
From orangutans and chimpanzees to smaller monkeys, there's no denying primates are the main attraction at the Suncoast Primate Sanctuary. Each has their own story to tell, but it's a fairly common story for the macaques. Many of these monkeys were brought to the sanctuary after starting their lives as a laboratory animal, and the effects of their time spent as a pharmaceutical test animal is still prevalent in some of them today. But this facility won't dwell on the past. The caregivers here put together a plan for each individual animal to make sure their unique needs are being met.
Debbie, we're in a special area of the sanctuary, which both you and I have had many talks about using animals for research.
Yes.
We know the benefits, but we certainly know the negative parts of that.
Sure.
But we have a beautiful little guy over here, and he still needs medical attention because of what he went through. Can you tell us about this?
Yep, a lot of animals go through zoos or for pharmaceutical researcher, and they also go to homes that otherwise, when they get too old, where are the nursing homes at?
I don't see many.
No, so you don't see a lot of nursing homes for animals. Well,
no.
we're the other guy. We do all the nursing home, all the nursing care. I'm going to teach you how to give a monkey insulin.
All right.
So we're going to take this cap off.
Now let's talk about this because this is a diabetic syringe.
Yep.
I'm very familiar with these because I've had two dogs that have had diabetes and had to have regular insulin shots every day. Now what is very interesting, Debbie, is that most of these animals you were able to pull off of insulin.
Right.
That is rare, that is unusual.
Right.
How did you manage to do that?
Well, a lot of prayer and a lot through God. They're not allowed to go through the drive-thru at McDonald's. They're not allowed to go to Checkers. They're not allowed to go to a lot of the places that the humans go to. So what we do here is we try to find the balance in that. Because they get 5 feedings a day and 3 enrichments a day, and they have an activities director, the more activity, the better the food, the quality of time, all that changes everything in their body. So this is the only one right now that we have on insulin out of 18 of these guys.
Now, the research, of course, was a diabetes research. So the pharmaceutical company had to induce a diabetic situation. And of course, then they were being tested. Now, when you talk about 5 meals, that's what a diabetic eats.
Yes. Well, that's what every human should eat.
Well, that is true. That is true. So we can keep that metabolism going.
Here you go. So we're going to have him put his hand out. We're going to have you put the needle there.
Okay.
Push that in a little bit. Now you're just going to hold the syringe and then push it in.
All right, baby.
Now
I
just
know how
pull
to
him
do
back.
this.
Now
There
we give him
go.
his treat, and you have now just given the monkey his first
Yeah,
insulin.
and you're
He said he's
smiling.
happy about
He
it.
says that's a good thing. Yes, yes.
Because remember this, they feel better once they get
yes, of course.
their insulin.
Yes.
So what I want you to know is that you just made this monkey's day. Monkeys' lives can go up just because they're on insulin. And I've actually had monkeys actually convert back to where they've been on no insulin at all. Sometimes we're quick when we go to a clinic when we're in an emergency situation, whether it be a dog, a cat, or an animal, everything flies up because of stress.
Yes.
Are you excited when you get in the car and go to the doctor and waiting for the doctor's
Are
appointment?
you kidding? I'm
Yeah.
white and shaking.
Yes. So they're the same way. So once they know that they're okay, everything comes down.
You know, we always say that they give us so much. The animals give us so much. And of course, I have looked into many animals' eyes, many dogs' eyes. I see their soul. And one thing that I see here at the sanctuary is some beautiful souls. Two-legged and four-legged.
Thank you for that. I can tell you the first time I met my first gorilla at 5 years old and I held him, I was hooked.
The Suncoast Primate Sanctuary is run entirely by volunteers, and they're always looking for more help. If you would like more information on this facility, you can visit them at suncoastprimates.com. There is something to squeal about at Sarasota Jungle Gardens. 3 new miniature piggies are getting lots of attention. Larry, Mo, and Curly are oinking around in the petting zoo area of the park, giving visitors an up-close glimpse of these extremely cute porkers. Well, Curly, life is okay. This is a miniature pig, correct?
Correct.
And of course, just possibly the most adorable little creature you've ever seen.
Oh, fatty
Food will do it every time.
Fatty.
Yes. Food will do it every time.
Yes.
And so gentle.
A little Curly here is only 9 weeks old.
Oh, well, that's why he's scared. He's a baby.
Yes.
And you know, he has the most beautiful human-like eyes. As I said, he's got gorgeous eyelashes. And of course, the cutest little nose.
Mm-hmm. She's wagging her tail back here.
And we've got a little waggy tail. We've got a little sprig of white here.
Miniature pigs are actually very intelligent. They have about the same IQ as primates do. They're a lot smarter than dogs even. And contrary to belief, they're actually very clean.
Well, he is absolutely adorable. Yeah, okay, he doesn't stop, does he? Wow, you have quite a little appetite there, don't you? Oh my goodness. And he is so nice and solid. What
yes.
type of pig is he? What breed?
Curly is a miniature pig. Miniature pigs are done through selective breeding. So they're bred to be this small. Curly, these guys will only be about 35, 40 pounds.
Well, he is absolutely, positively adorable. And he's 9 weeks old. How much would you say? He's solid. He is really solid. Mm-hmm. So how much would you say he weighs right now?
About 12, 15 pounds. These guys are really good with the heat. They don't seem like they would have sweat glands, but they actually do. But they keep cool mostly in the mud. So he likes to roll around and play in the mud.
Now, how do you keep him clean if he's rolling around in the mud? Do you give him a bath every night before bedtime?
We clean them off, I'd say, every other week. But they do most of the cleaning and grooming themselves. Like I said, they stay relatively clean.
Well, he certainly has a voracious appetite here.
Oh, yes.
Pig-headed. Well, pigs are actually quite intelligent. One study found pigs to be mentally similar to dogs and chimpanzees. And let's face it, with their enormous appetite, they might just do about anything for food. Would you ever believe a hedgehog could make a good pet? Well, it takes the right owner. So how do you exercise Spike? Dr. Don tells us more about what goes into caring for Spike. That's next in Pet of the Week.
For thousands of years, we've been humans' best friend. You've been through a lot, and we've been right there with you. A dog is part of the family, a confidant, and a friend who always knows how to get into your heart. So what happens to our beloved companions when we can no longer care for them? This is why we've created Dantes Den, an innovative, state-of-the-art facility that will provide care for up to 100 dogs.
Dantes Den is a community for joyful dogs.
Millions of Americans face uncertainty when planning for the future of beloved pets who may well outlive them. Dantes Den is a charitable organization, so in whatever capacity you can, please lend your support so that we may continue this most wonderful work.
Dante and I would like to thank you for watching and for also opening up your hearts to our wonderful community of joyful dogs.
Learn about the many ways you could become involved by visiting dantesden.org.
Welcome back. You certainly aren't going to cuddle up to this interesting pet, a hedgehog. They are known for rolling up into a tight ball when they feel threatened and protecting themselves with their pointy spines. But some people are attracted to owning one of these spiked mammals. Dr. Don tells us more about the hedgehog. Dr. Don, we're here with this fuzzy little creature, but he's like a Brillo pad, and I must say he's adorable.
Absolutely.
But what is he?
He's an African hedgehog. There are two kinds of hedgehogs on Earth. There's a European one, they got from England and Europe, and there's the African one. Everyone you're going to see in a pet store in America is your African hedgehog. And when you say, anticipate your next question, do they make a great pet? It depends. It always, the answer to everything is it depends. And then there's some states where they're illegal to have as a pet, like Hawaii and California and Arizona and Georgia and Pennsylvania. You can't have one as a pet. So if you want one, you can't. Just get the Brillo pad and you can pet it. Second, there are some cities like New York City and Washington, D.C. that you can't have a hedgehog.
Now I find this little creature very interesting. Now he's, whoa, he surprised me. He's on his back,
All right.
right?
Yep.
So now we've got him on the way he should be.
There you go, hedgehog.
And you know, it's very interesting because I have large dogs, and of course their most favorite stuffed toy, squeaker toy, is a hedgehog. We all think that they're precious, that they're sweet, that they're lovable. Why would we want a hedgehog?
Good question. They're nocturnal insectivores. So unless you're a vampire, you're not going to see much of this in the daytime. So if you have a kid and they want to play with something, they want a huggy, feely, touchy, squishy pet, you can't beat a Labrador Retriever or a Golden Retriever, okay? I'm sorry. This is a pet that's not for everything. And they come out maybe after dinner. They might come out and you can say, hey, look, it's moving. And you can maybe give it a swim. They like to swim. They have to swim, and then get some of the grunge off them. They can swim around, and some of these guys even like to be combed, like with a toothbrush. Don't use your own toothbrush, kids. Neighbor's toothbrush, whatever, and you can comb them out.
And by the way, does he have a name? Have you named him, Dr. Don?
This is Spike.
If I do this to him, does he feel that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? There's a lot of...
He feels that it's this little protective thing where he just moves to, to prickle you, and, they're not big biter animals. They have little tiny insectivore teeth. They're quiet. They make little sneezy sounds. So there's some stuff to be said for them, but they're definitely not a pet for everybody, okay?
What do they eat if you do have them as a pet?
Good question. Now the answer to that, keep in mind they're a nocturnal insectivore, so the diet is not something that's really well worked out yet. They do have in pet stores hedgehog food, pelleted hedgehog food, but also they like to supplement with some mealworms and some maybe frozen mixed vegetables that they thaw out. Little tiny bite-sized nuggets.
So they're good eaters is what you're saying.
Yeah, sometimes too good. Sometimes they get obese.
Really?
And then they get liver troubles and all the
Is
all
this
the
an average size for him?
He's a little bit on the heavy
little
side.
chunky?
A little chunky. A little Zoftic.
I see.
Rubenesque.
Rubenesque. Well, that's okay. Are there vaccinations that you would need?
Nope, that's one good thing too. You don't really need vaccines for your hedgehog.
Well, he's adorable because we all love Yeah, he's not the cuddliest guy in the world.
I agree.
But he's definitely adorable. Hedgehogs are not native to North or South America, and you also won't find one of these prickly guys in Australia either. Their spines are not poisonous and are actually made of keratin, just like our fingernails. The name hedgehog comes from the area they typically can be found, in a hedge. And hog, well, that's because of their piggy-like face. From lots of hair to hairless, and a piggy in the middle, we will take a look back at some of the more interesting pets we have featured on the show. That's coming up next. We have met some interesting pets over the years, and we thought it would be nice to highlight a few of them. It would be rare to see some of these animals going on a walk down the street, and if you did, you would definitely take notice of them.
Because they have no hair, they like to stay warm. So what happens is they tend to sit in the sun. If there's a glass door or a window, they want to be in that sun all day long.
The Sphinx is an affectionate and loving breed of cat known for having no fur. And let's face it, being, well, naked can leave you seeking out some warmth. But one thing the Sphinx needs to cover up with is sunscreen.
They are not allowed to go outside because they will get sunburnt, just like you and I would. There's nothing protecting them.
You might assume a cat with no hair means no grooming. Think again. Regular grooming and cleaning of their ears and eyes are necessary.
He gets bathed once a week. We try to do that every Sunday. The Sphinx build up oils on their skin just like we do, and you basically have to remove some of that.
And even though the fur is gone, if you're allergic to cats, you will still be allergic to the Sphinx.
The Sphinx are still going to have the same allergens as a cat with fur or hair, so...
So the fact that they don't have any hair is really not the indicator.
No, nope, not at all.
From no fur to lots of fur. The bearded collie is named for their double coat. The undercoat is soft and their outer coat is flat and shaggy. And their coat needs to be brushed daily.
A lot of grooming takes place, correct?
It does. It does. It's every day. I do it every day. It takes me just an hour to do both of them. Not bad, but I've been doing it for 18 years.
The bearded collie is a herding dog, primarily used to herd sheep in Scotland. Now, they are a popular family dog.
Being a herding dog, they will, even here, when we're out here with our grandchildren, they will circle around them and try and herd them together. As the kids are running and playing and things, they do herd other animals, ducks, chickens, sheep, and so that instinct is in them.
Now, what about a personality?
They are incredible. They are happy. They're called clowns, and they're actually called the bouncing, barking beardies. because you will see too, they bounce constantly, they bark. They don't bark so much just at anything, but if you want to take them for their walk, they will bark and bark and bark until you get them out the door. These are not couch potatoes.
No,
These really
not
are
a couch.
active, very active dogs that need a lot of running to get the activity out of them.
Our next unique pet is an inspiring pig. A newborn piglet came into Dr. Len Lucero's veterinary clinic for an exam. The owner wanted the piglet to be euthanized since he was born with no back legs. But Dr. Len adopted the piglet instead.
Nobody was in his corner, so I was his voice, and you know, I spoke for him. So, and he's paid us back.
And he named the little piggy Chris P. Bacon.
I said, there's got to be something I can do for this little guy.
And he fit in the palms of your hand
Oh
at that point.
yeah, he was tiny. And when he was walking around, he was actually raising his butt off the air and taking a couple steps and then fall down. I said, there's got to be something. So I looked into some wheelchairs for dogs, but they're all big. Therefore, you know, even one for a small Dachshund is way too big for him at that time. So I said, you know, I'm going to make it out of Connects.
And after building a piggy wheelchair and posting the video, Chris became an internet sensation with more than 2 million views.
Oh yeah, he is progressing great. You know, some of the key things that we look at, especially in pigs, is how's their appetite. That's the first thing that goes. When a pig gets sick, they stop eating. And a pig that's not eating, that's
a problem.
It's strange. Yeah, it's definitely odd. So he's, you know, we watch him closely, and he's just done so well.
So if somebody does have a pet that is either deformed by birth, such as Chris was, or becomes paralyzed, what would you say to them? Bring them to their vet?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But not for euthanasia.
Right, to get assessed. Because a lot of times they may have an abnormality, born with an abnormality, but it's not a lethal abnormality. It's something that they can live with. We do all that we can, and that's really doing right by the animal, and I think that's just the best thing ever.
Did you know there are benefits to owning a pet? Research shows any pet can lower a person's blood pressure and anxiety, and infants with pets in the home are less likely to develop pet allergies. Coming up next, now that you have a pet, you probably have some pet questions. Ask the Vet is next. Animal Outtakes is produced by Dantes Den Foundation, a nonprofit group dedicated to creating the best life for dogs. If you would like to learn more about Dantes Den, donate, or volunteer, visit our website, dantesden.org.
vaccination programs, part of the health programs your veterinarian is going to set up is the vaccination deworming program. One of the things I always tell my clients is every time you come in, bring a stool sample, especially with puppies, because sometimes it takes 2 or 3 samples to determine what the puppy may be carrying, such as coccidiosis, which is a little more difficult, or giardia. Those are things that are a little more difficult to pick up. Of course, most puppies and kittens are carrying roundworms. So anyway, setting up a deworming program, checking stools regularly are very important. Now, as far as vaccinations, there's the core vaccines, distemper, adenoviruses, hepatitis, rabies. These are the vaccines that are called core vaccines. But now, one of the vaccinations that we recommend, now we're upstate New York and we have a greater incidence of leptospirosis, and that's a controversial vaccine. And the reason it's controversial because at some point it was a sting and people associated with causing their pets to be ill. But one of the things I really want our clients to know and our pet owners to know is that leptospirosis is the leading zoonotic disease in the world. It's transmitted through urine of rodents and other animals that might be carrying it. And there's asymptomatic carriers. Animals that are not looking sick, etc., and they're still passing. It's a bacteria, can affect the liver and the kidneys. So it's really a risk assessment. Is your dog out and about, or is it just an apartment dog? So you really need to determine what the risk is for your pet. The other thing is, because it's a zoonotic disease, if your pet is going to be boarding, and it's one of those animals that might pick it up and transmit it to humans, there's that aspect also that has to be discussed. So there's a lot of things that go into determining what vaccines are appropriate for your pet. So it's, again, through discussion, education, very good communication, will determine what's the best vaccine protocol for your pet.
Great advice from the doc as usual. We hope you've had fun and learned a thing or two along the way. Zeus and I will be back here again next week with even more animals and some wild adventures. Until then, thanks for watching.
There's his little beady eyes.
There he is.
Whose toothbrush is this?
Yours.
I just want to, just clarification.
She's holding it. Come on. They are. Is it oinking? Okay, all right. It looked like dinking. Okay.